bum ba-da-dum bum 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 bum. Oh, can't do that. Can't do that. All right, all right, all right. So because I don't want to get slapped with that old copyright, let's come up with a better intro here. Well, if you see on the right side of your screen, it says PTS with the Division 2 logo and my gamer tag. And this is because I am in the PTS, the public test server. And well, I found the end game, the content wall. I found the whatever you want to call it, man. I I journeyed as far as I could into this PTS, and I promise you, no one else even got close to this. And what I found is concerning. Let's talk about it. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikaze Von Doom here with another Division 2 PTS video, and this is going to be your review video for the PTS Phase 2. Phase 2! And this is for Title Update 22. So this title update, this next season, is not even set to go live for like another month. And they keep saying it's not an extension, it's not a delay. This was just us having the opportunity of giving you a throwback event. And it's like, come on. You extended the season by a month because, yeah, because you did. So, with that, we get 2 phases of the PTS instead of 1 because what else are we going to do while they try to get things together? So with this PTS, I'm not holding back. I went as hard into the paint as possible. I took off the gloves, man. I really went hard. I promise you. And with that, I was actually quiet this weekend. I put my head down and I went to work. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I completed the journey and the scouts as far as possible. I have tested all of the gear. I have tested the gear sets. I have tested the new rifles. I have played Summit, Countdown, Descent, Open World, Strongholds. I've done everything. I even tested the modifiers in the Incursion. And yes, the modifiers work in the Incursion. There's so many things that I have tested. I've tested sniper builds. I've tested SMG builds. I even tested the Pestilence buff, which blows my effing mind. Perfect versatile being a meta. I mean, there's so many things. So many, so many. So let's just go ahead and, I guess, go balls deep, right? Here we go. So the whole content wall, did I break the PTS? Well, I did go as far as you possibly can. So with that being said, I'm at the very last part of the seasonal journey, and you will not be able to get any further. Let me explain. So during this seasonal journey, you have to complete certain activities. There are 8 different options, and just by completing 6 of the 8, you can move on to the next tier. Each tier, the options get harder, but the rewards get higher. And every single tier, it just keeps compounding until you get to tier 4, 5, 6, and 7. So at tier 4, you start to unlock active modifiers. Now, yes, I do have all of the modifiers unlocked in the game. I have all of them, and I will be going over each of them into a video explaining exactly how these work, how to unlock them, and what to expect when you do actually use them, because some of them have great advantages, but others have really bad disadvantages. And like I said, I'll talk about the modifiers here in a second. But going back to the seasonal journey, these activities start pretty easy. It's nothing too crazy. Now, once you get to 4 and you start to unlock these active modifiers, this is the only way in the game to unlock active modifiers. So you get 1 at 4, 5, and 6. Now, you do not get another active modifier. You only get 3 per season. So that's their thing here. So what they did is the first 3 tiers, it's pretty easy. The 4th, 5th, and 6th, it's all for you to get your active modifiers. And then tier 7, The only incentive is that they are hiding the seasonal mask behind tier 7. And this was my whole mission during this PTS. I was like, did you just challenge me to get a mask during the PTS? Like, challenge accepted. And I was really, really going through this. It was super easy. I did it all solo, and it took about a day, maybe a little bit longer. Now, with that being said, this final tier, I hit their content wall because check this one out. Complete countdown objectives on heroic. Now, this is not the encounters. Objectives are the final thing you do right before you extract in countdown. So for a solo player, I did the entire journey solo. I did all of this solo. But as soon as I got to this final tier, it finally hit me that I'm going to have to play with with other teammates. I have to. Because if not, I have to then resort to all of these other objectives that will then, take you another few days to complete. Maybe if the PTS was about a week long, I would complete it all solo. But the way that I was doing it within the PTS time span, this is where I hit that content wall because it's just not possible. Now, what I mean by that is these modifiers are not easy to use and apply to these objectives. What I mean by that is it's so tedious and so specific that you have to be working on each of these for at least an hour, maybe 2 per objective. Because check it. So this one is probably the easiest of all of them. But the only reason is because it says tank or Rikers. Yeah, the tanks might be a good one too. But the Rikers at mid-range, that one's fairly easy, but it's time consuming. So that means you have to find either a mission control point or open world that has strictly Rikers and then just do that over and over and over and over until you kill 200 enemies at mid-range. But then it gets hard because it says the all-out modifier has to be active. So the all-out modifier, that is your active modifier here. Right here, all out. Now you have to activate it, but it only lasts for 10 seconds. So that means this 200, if I go back to the eliminate 200 Rikers at mid-range while the all-out modifier is active, that's only within the 10 seconds. So that means I have to do that, kill as many as I can within 10 seconds, do it again, and just keep going and just trying. And you can already see how that's going to be a grind. Right here, the complete countdown objectives. If it wasn't during the PTS, it would be a lot easier to do because then I could just matchmake. But there's not a lot of people playing the PTS. That's why I was saying I'm probably the only person that hit this content wall during the PTS because I just can't get any further right now before the PTS closes. Now, the destroy enemy gadgets is another super time-consuming one. So this one is not just like jamming drones. You actually have to take out some sort of gadget that a controller has deployed. So you have to wait for the actual NPC to deploy the gadget and then take it out. Now, a lot of these enemies will only deploy one at a time. So that's why even after a few missions, I'm only at 12 out of 100. And that's because during each encounter, I only get like maybe one controller. And then you can see how it's just, taking more and more time. The easiest one out of all of these is this one right here. The tankers, or the tank enemies at close range. This one's super easy. You just put on Hunter's Fury, maybe Lady Death. just run around and shoot everything at close range. Eventually, you'll get the tankers, but then again, you can see how you have to get 125 tank enemies only at close range. Now, then it starts to get harder here. So, eliminating only engineers at mid range, and then eliminating only throwers at long range. So, this is why I'm stuck content wise. Now, the other one is the scouts. So, the scouts is your new manhunt. And I am on week 6 out of 14, but you cannot go any further. Week 5 was just released tonight, so that would assume that week 6 would be tomorrow, but the PTS will already be closed by then. So I have not only hit the content wall for the seasonal journey, but they also cut off the scouts by 35%. So as soon as you were able to finish Scout 5, you were done. My little review on the scouts, some of the riddles do not make sense. Therefore, you will have to be watching for some sort of post or YouTube video or something as soon as someone figures it out. Because there were quite a few instances today during the live stream where I was taking out all these scouts, and there were a few of these riddles that not only did not make sense, but even the people in my chat were like, what? How did you, what? And I just got lucky. I figured them all out, and I had chat help me with 1 or 2 of them. So hell yeah. And shout out to the people that helped me. It was really fun. My overall feel for the scouts is good. I like the setup. I like the way that the riddles go. I like the whole thing. I like it. As far as content, there is no content. Just going through this really quick. And I know it might sound like hating, but it's not. It's reality, okay? So just buckle up. So the Legacy Manhunts is still the exact same. Nothing's different there, okay? As far as the collectible, every single week you will get a new scout setup just like this. So you'll have the scout, it'll tell you a little bit of information, and then you have these 3 activities you have to do. After you do those 3 activities, it'll say scout completed, and it'll give you a new collectible. Probably some sort of like, phone call or, what have you. Now with that, what's going on is they are putting 1 weekly comm with each of these scouts. So instead of having to do descent every week to get, the latest comm, you will now have to do your scouts. And this will also set up your manhunt. Because after week 14, that is when you get the climax mission, and then you can unlock the master difficulty. So those are both of the content walls that I hit during the PTS. I didn't break it. I just I found out how far I could go, and yeah, it sucks. I was really trying to get that mask, but it is what it is. Now, as far as this journey, I would say to the average person will probably take them about a week to complete total. If you are a daily player and you have everything maxed out and you don't have to worry about resources or anything, and you can just sit there and just game your heart away, you could probably finish this in a couple days. Easy. Super easy. Now, if you had 2 people that were actually like dedicated and worked together, you could knock this out in a day. Oh yeah, it's for sure. The only problem is some of these are just so time consuming. For example, like what's this? 20 floors in the summit. We had to do 15 control points. Right here, we had to do 8 New York missions, which is even longer than your standard, Woney run. Just a lot of these are just really time consuming. That's all. And as far as anyone asking about modifiers, you don't have to use modifiers. You don't even have to have it active. However, during your seasonal journey, as soon as you hit tier 5, half of your objectives involve modifiers. So tier 5, 6, and 7, you will not be able to complete unless you use the modifiers. And that's why I was stressing during this, tier 7, how time consuming it's going to be, because it's only engineers at mid range, it's only throwers at long range. So you could be playing a whole mission and only get like one or two. It's just going to take a long time. That's all. But that's probably why they have it as such a grind, because the way that this looks is the average person will knock out the first 3 tiers no matter what. Tier 4 is just to get the active modifier. Same with 5 and 6. And then if you're nasty, you would knock out 7 to get that special mask. As far as the seasonal pass, you can see in the top right of your screen, the seasonal pass is not available, so we can't see what that's going to involve. However, just assuming it's going to be all behind a paywall, because the seasonal pass is how they make their money. So obviously it's going to have a lot of good premium, outfits and stuff like that. As far as the priority objectives, this was a great addition to the game. Highly recommend trying out as soon as it comes out. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's just a different way of playing. It's like, what stronghold is it going to make me play, or what mission is it going to make me play? And then if you don't like it, you can just abandon it, and you're good to go. For example, let's see here. Let's say the daily is DUA. Let's see. But my priority objective is for capital building. So I don't want to do that. I'm looking for DUA. So I can just simply abandon. Boom. Oh, here's another stronghold right here. Let's see. DUA, DUA, DUA. Oh, Roosevelt. Now let's try to abandon it. Oh, now I have to wait an hour. But even then, in an hour, I can just abandon it and do it again. Not bad. And then finally, at the top right of your screen, you can see it says Events Timeline. That is going to be your timeline for the apparel events and the global events and the seasonal events. What do I mean by seasonal events? Every season, you're going to have some sort of different event for that time of year, whether it be the mooncake event, the summer event, the holiday event. All of these things are going to start happening every single season, because these seasons are so freaking long. They went from 3-month seasons to it's right around 5 months now. So with that being said, we're going to have these big events every single season, because we're going to hit a certain holiday or a certain, whatever. Now, with that being said, it's all right. Let's just keep going. Now, that was the content walls that I hit. Okay. Now let's talk about the gear and everything else. So the UI setup is super clean. I like this a lot. You have your grenade down there. You have your watch, modifier, specialization. Everything super nice and super clean. As far as the new exotics, I'm not even using the Strega, so I don't even have it on the character. But I am using the new holster, and it is a lot of fun. This counter talent, where you can reload once, gives you rate of fire and weapon damage, amazing. And then you reload again, and it gives your primary weapon, magazine size, and reload speed. Again, amazing. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend with a SMG and a shoddy combo. Now, the even better thing to do is to pair it up with Perfect Versatile. So Perfect Versatile amplifies your damage for 10 seconds. And wouldn't you know it, the holster lasts for 12 seconds. So no matter what, as soon as you're swapping, you can enjoy both of these buffs for, at least 10 seconds. Pretty cool. And that's together. So not only are you getting the rate of fire and weapon damage, but then you're also getting amplified damage, which is even better. So with that, you do SMG shoddy, And everything within 15 meters also gets amplified by 45%. And then you could do something even crazier, like maybe like this build right here with the amplified damage, and then everything you hit is amplified, and it's amplified with Hunter's Fury. Just saying, just saying. And then the Thorn, look at this, 1.7 million with a 1.4 million armor build. It's banana pancakes. And then what else were we going to talk about? Oh yeah, the Pestilence got a huge buff. Look at the freaking RPM on this bad Mamma Jamma. It's almost 1100. And that's just sitting here. That's not even with Umbra or anything. That's just a freaking, look at this. It's just a ninja bike build. But the cool thing about that is the Hollow Man mask got a huge buff, and so did the Y'all gear. So Y'all gear now gives you more weapon damage, and the Hollow Man gives you more health damage. So the Hollow Man is now best in slot for mask. The holsters, remember the Picaros got a nerf, so I'm not even using the Picaros anymore. It's not worth it. It would be better off in the stash. Let's see here. Other things that I noticed during this phase 2. The Scorpio change, it's really not that bad. Remember that you had to reload anyways, so it's just, it's keeping you from one more shot. The Dark Winter, once you get that buff, it's stupid. Everything dies within a few bullets. Ridiculous. I have noticed that Sadist, Ignited, Eyeless, and Perfect Thunderstrike all hit like Mack trucks. Ridiculous buffs. And it's all amplified damage. So now Sadist is going to be like a go-to with the Ridgeway's Pride. Oh, for sure. Another thing that I was testing out during this PTS was the Hardwired and Unlimited Seekers. So it's so fast that it's truly unlimited. Truly. There's no way around it. Every single time I was throwing out a Seeker, and as soon as it exploded, I already had the Seeker back and I was already throwing it. It's so fast. And it's because the backpack got a huge buff. So Hardwired is going to be a straight meta, because the Hardwired backpack has a feedback loop cooldown of 5 seconds. That's quicker than your Seeker can go out and explode. Truly. So by the time it explodes, you can already have your next Seeker ready. It's remarkable. I'm telling you right now. It's ridiculous, and that will be a meta. Let's see here. Other things that I was testing out that I was having fun with. Oh, rifle builds. Forget about it. Rifle builds are now going to be meta. Put a rifle build on and put it with some armor. Just, that's it. You're basically a nail driver kid. You're going down the streets just pumping nails, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. And as soon as you put some fucking armor on, you're going to be a juggernaut. It's just bada bing, bada boom, wrong alleyway, they're dead. And that is truly the case. This thing is ridiculous. I love it. I was just steamrolling through heroic content. I will probably try this out in Legendary, because it just hits so ridiculously hard. And it has 1.3 million armor. And let me just show you. Some of these rifles, I know a lot of people were talking about the Urban or the LVOAC, something like that. Let me just, I'll explain a few things with these rifles. And we can go ahead and get all those, questions out of the way. And I'll go ahead and show you all of the other things too. LVOAC, yep. And we will get out of here as soon as, there we go. Okay, so let me show you these rifles and get you out of here, because there's really not much more to the PTS. They had a few things with the new named mask. Let me see. I can show you really quick. Little note of what is the name of it? There we go. Visionario. So they did fix the Visionario. It does come with optimal range of 50%. And if you have two-piece, you get another 70% optimal range. So what I was doing, and, you know, don't try this at home, kids. But what I was doing is I had it on this, and check this out. So now I have an optimal range of 33 meters, 31 meters for the Scorpio, 33 for the Dark Winter. Okay. Now just to show you, I mean, that's ridiculous. You see what I mean? I mean, it's like I'm right next to it. You see what I mean? So this is what will become a meta, because now optimal range doesn't matter. However, remember that the perfect versatile, it's within 15, right? Yeah, within 15. So that's why I had it on the 15. So within 15, you're good. And it's a laser beam. Now, once you get even closer, it's stupid. I don't think you even need it once you're too close. But that would end up being some sort of meta, because then just from having these two pieces on, you have 120% optimal range. That's crazy. It is really cool, and it's something to really look after, because being able to beam somebody with a SMG, especially in like PvP or something like that, it's like a player's dream. That way we can just all run around with SMGs and just go crazy. Just imagine that with like the Lady Death. Like you run around the corner and you could just beam somebody half a block away with the Lady Death. Come on. Come on. Another thing I was trying out was the exotic holster with the Scorpio. Because remember, if you swap and then swap again, right? Oh, it goes to your primary weapons. You can see I now have 68 rounds in the Dark Winter. But if you were to make the Scorpio your primary weapon, check this out. Oh, come on. It's not going to do it. There we go. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to have to restart the whole freaking instance. Because if you made the Scorpio your primary weapon, then that would be your way of getting a bigger magazine size. Where a lot of people were like, well, all you have to do is use the Scorpio and get the magazine size. And it is true. I'm going to try to see if I can show you. I think the Scorpio has to be your primary weapon. All right, there we go. So let's just be up close. All right, watch this. So right now we're at 8 rounds. Okay. It still put all of the magazine size into my... I think it's because I already had it on there. There we go. There we go. So now you can see the Scorpio has 10 rounds. It was because once you add the extra ammo to that weapon, you can't do it to both weapons. So I had to switch that vector off. So you actually get 11 ammo in your Scorpio now. Just so you know. So that would be the way to do it. You'd have to have your Scorpio as your primary weapon, and then just swap, and then swap back, and then you get 11. That's pretty dope. I like that a lot. All right. Now, other weapons that I have been testing out. So the Eagle Bearer. A lot of people have been talking about the Eagle Bearer. They have been saying, ooh, the Eagle Bearer got a big buff. The Eagle Bearer did not get a huge buff. What it is the platform got adjusted just like all the other ones. Meaning, the St. Elmo's engine. This one only got adjusted because the Police M4 got adjusted. So the Eagle Bearer got adjusted because the P416 got adjusted. These are very small changes in the base damage, but a lot of the changes were crit related. And that's because they changed the crit adjustments from the mods to the attachments. That's really it. Is that a lot of these weapons would just come with high crit, so they would change it to the attachments. That way you could get your high-end items to get a little bit higher. It's neither here nor there. It's weird balancing that they did, but whatever. The long story short, the Eagle Bearer did get a buff, but it's really not a lot. It's mainly to crit chance, crit damage, and the base damage got a little tweaked. The St. Elmo's engine did not get changed really at all. They kept the mag size, they kept the RPM. The only thing that got adjusted was the crits on the attachments again, and the base damage got a little bit adjusted because of the Police M4. The Bighorn, huge buff. Bighorn got a huge buff, and that is all headshots. Remember, everything is headshots. So the Bighorn, it now gives you 6% headshot per stack up to 25 times. Ridiculous. It used to be 5 for 20, I believe, and now it's 6 for 25, something like that. Either way, nice buff. The Bighorn is amazing. Very cool. Now, the Ouroboros, they are not changing the magazine size, but they are further lowering the RPM. I have not been able to test that because it's not in the PTS. The Pestilence, huge buff. A lot of fun, highly recommend. It is now a 935 RPM just sitting here, and that gets right under 1100 with a striker build. The Ravenous is now fully auto. The Thorn got a big buff. Kingbreaker, big nerf. So you can see that the RPM is now 600. It's not even worth using. The Shield Splinterer also got a big nerf. RPM is now 850, and the mag size is now 50. Dark Winter, huge buff. And then we'll be testing out these other weapons. All right. Woo! All right. Sorry about that. I had to cough a little bit. Okay. I think I'm all right. So what we're going to do is we are going to test out just a few of the new fully auto rifles. So right here we have the Ravenous. Okay. So this is what that is going to be like fully auto. Pretty cool. Now another one would be the LVOAC and the Urban MDR. These would be faster firing fully auto. So here's the LVOAC. And then the Urban MDR would shoot just as fast, but hit a little bit harder. Feels like it shoots faster, but it doesn't. And then if we want to shoot a little bit slower, here's the M1A CQB. And then finally, if you want to shoot even slower, you got the MK47. pretty cool. Now, other ones would be like the SVD or the G28. A lot of people keep asking about these. All right, so the Ravenous or the Ruthless and the Merciless are not fully auto. Just so you know. So everyone that keeps asking, the Ruthless and the Merciless are not fully auto. But all the rest of them are. Now, other notable changes, the Kingbreaker is lowered to a 600 RPM, so in my opinion, it's not worth it anymore. The Shield Splinter is down to 850 with a 50-round mag, so in my opinion, that's not worth it anymore. The Thorn got a huge buff. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. The Thorn hits so freaking hard, especially with Perfect Versatile. I don't want to tell you it's meta, but it might be a meta. But alright, I'm going to get you out of here. That way I can try to catch my breath and do another video. So take care of yourself, enjoy the rest of your day, but that was everything that I noticed and experienced during Phase 2 of the PTS. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I am Kamikaze Von Doom. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.